Good morning, my friends. Daniel Miller here. How's everyone? You having a good day so far? Did you wake up early? Did you go for your early morning stroll? Are you at college, at work, elsewhere? Well, I can certainly tell you I had a wonderful morning so far. Woke up early, went out for a stroll. Not having particularly good weather yesterday and today. Very, very wet and drizzly, and also a bit cold. So, all of that wet weather has come back to our shores yet again in Britain. But really, really good to start early. I was able to read through all of my news and work a bit on my blog. The article on Destiny is still being worked on. Believe you me, it is a very lengthy article. It sounds almost like a book when you look at it, and it has lots of illustrations and links and videos and everything. Coming soon, obviously coming your way as soon as possible. And also I'll be working on another article which is related to Metal Gear Solid. The reason for that is very simple. Upon discussions with my community members, we came upon conclusion that having a bit of variety here will help, because we obviously had a number of games here promoted, but Destiny has been and is still the backbone of this channel. The idea now is to be bringing in some other novelties, and what better way to do that but through PlayStation Now services, the Netflix for gaming service of the Sony's PlayStation, and we have many games on offer in there, up to about 700 I think, and I've had a very good thorough look on every one of those games during this weekend, looked at the trailers, all the information, got really well introduced to each one of those on offer, and selected about 250 which I consider to be of interest to me personally, and also maybe about 150 of interest to the community. And those are comprising two types of games. One lot is downloadable, which means we can stream them instantly here on Twitch. The other is simply streamable, and it is in a non-downloadable format, which means I'll have to wait a bit up to the point where I connect my PS4 with the desktop, and then we can do also some streams with different types of overlays and that, but that's not really to happen immediately. That's sort of lurking in the future. The first priority is those downloadable games, which we can obviously stream instantly here through PS4, and I selected Metal Gear Solid 5, which is the Phantom Pain, the wonderful Hideo Kojima's game, probably the best one he ever made. Everything in that game is just completely outstanding, from the very lengthy opening sequence, the prologue, which I think is quite unique in the video game industry. It is very similar to some of the AAA blockbusters that we see in cinemas. It's very lengthy, but what's important is it's incredibly immersive, because you start the game with yourself, i.e. the main characters, in coma, and you're kind of getting to know what happened, and you're really experiencing it in exactly the same way. You're opening your eyes, you realise your one eye is not working, you can't really move at all, you're almost paralysed. You get to know there are nurses and doctors nearby, and then after talking to them for a while, there's an assault. There's an assassin coming in who wants to neutralise you, and therefore you have to, first of all, get away from her, and then get away from all the other incursions that are coming in to destroy the hospital and all the findings which are there. Really exciting. It is very lengthy, not too difficult to get through, but I mean, if you're familiar with Metal Gear Solid, you'll know this is a game of stealth, and the best number of experience points and everything you get if you're not really engaging the enemy, if you're just doing it stealthily, trying to evade them. And as this is my first run on Metal Gear Solid, I'm just doing, literally about anything that comes to mind in there with any types of approaches and strategies. And yesterday, because I was a bit pushed for time, instead of doing purely stealthy tactics and, hiding and sneaking, engage the enemy and rescue the person, who incidentally is also called Miller. So it was one Miller saving the other, and that was very funny. So, really good beginning of our new season of PlayStation Now Presents, which indeed started yesterday. This is a new addition to the channel. We'll have every day 2 hours at least of that presentation. And on one hand, it will give us the continuity of Destiny, which is going to be here every day for about 4 or 5 hours. And then we'll have another 2 hours of PlayStation Now Presents. I have to say that the PS Now Presents season is going to be ongoing, and will focus on a selection of games. and we'll try to replay literally through the entire game, i.e. do the completion, and then we'll move on to another one, and the selection will be very much focused on providing us with a variety. So the games sometimes very different to Destiny, because we'll give a sort of a counterbalance in terms of our video gaming activity online, and also it will draw attention from other community members elsewhere who perhaps are the great fans of those games, or generally video gaming overall. And we want to really diversify, but branch out, bring in more people to our community in order to make it flourish and grow as well. As you know, this is a celebration of my channel's 6 months in existence, and the season is focused very much on that community aspect of my channel. This channel is not focused, and I'll specify that yet again. This channel is not focused on competitive gameplay. It is entirely focused on the community activity, which means bonding, connecting, communicating, enjoying the video gaming world, and making new friendships from literally wherever you are. And so far so good. We had a very, very good session yesterday. We started the game. The game is indeed amazing, and we are really kind of looking forward for everything to unravel. On the other hand, I am just considering what other bits of news to provide you with in my blog. I'm working on that every day, and indeed the entire project is still in its infancy and evolving. You have one article there on the Sleeper Simulant quest. In addition to that, you will have this other article which is on the history of Destiny, and I'm quite certain that the article with all the illustrations and everything is going to be very much of interest. Therefore, we are going to be looking at it, reading it, and indeed using it for many months and years to come. It has very, very many thorough descriptions of everything Destiny related. It does have links for the characters and the trivia. So let's say if you want to find out what Shiro or what Zer were about, you will get a brief description of them, and then with that link you'll be able to connect to Wikipedia and get the most thorough information on those characters and the activities in our Destiny world. Right, so we are coming back to Destiny, and as you know, we are just polishing off our characters in order to make them raids ready, to bring them to 4400. It is a long grind. We had some great activities by neutralizing champions, doing some patrols, collecting some kit, and indeed having a lot of fun in the process of doing so. And today we'll again look at our Warlock. We may even look at our Hunter later in the session and try to do a few things in order to move on. In fact, I do think if I was to be doing one of the raids instantly, that I would get some really good kit which can be then used to upgrade my character. But step by step, we need to really make sure that everything else is complete, that all has been indeed finished, and that we can be just focusing on raids and strikes. The idea is to have a full completion on all 3 characters, and to make it really nice and easy for those characters to get in the raids and then cooperate with other teammates in order to defeat the enemy. Also quite excited about this. I need to work on those teams and making sure that every one of those raids at the beginning, when we do them for the first time, on any of those 3 difficulty levels, is enjoyable and indeed of interest to all of our viewers. Regrettably, on Twitch, the Destiny channel or the Destiny section is experiencing a depletion of viewers and gamers, and the reason for that is very simple. We've had 2 games introduced to the arena during the recent months, and these are notably Apex Legends and also The Division 2. Those 2 games are indeed very, very similar in some shape and form to some aspects of Destiny gameplay, particularly in terms of coordinated group work. You are playing in squads of 3 or 4, and you are completing a certain task. You're facing a different kind of environment, obviously, in either of those 2. With Apex, you are in a battle royale game where survival is of essence. In the Division 2, you are having also battle royale as well as battle versus environment, and there's a variety of different challenges and enemies facing you. So really, those are the 2 games that indeed had embraced lots of our Destiny veterans and the gamers and viewers who were coming here until very recently, and everyone's obviously very busy with those. They're very big. Well, the Division 2 is a very big open world game, whilst Apex Legends is your straightforward battle royale, which is both immersive and indeed very addictive. It does have this sort of repetitive quality of trying to get the best score, trying to survive the longest, and once you get into the arena, you just want to do that again and again, and therefore you spend many hours doing it. So really, we are also aware of the depletion of that viewership, and we are personally very sad. Well, I'm a bit sorry to see that lots of people went, not from my channel, the channel is consistently growing, but from Destiny section on Twitch, where previously we've had anything between 100 and maybe 2,000 viewers, and today we are having anything between 20 and 70 viewers per day. So we are talking about a massive drop of viewers on the channel, not on this channel, but as I said, on the Destiny section of Twitch. So we are hoping that some of our friends and indeed the community members are going to be coming back to that section of Twitch in order to talk to us and watch Destiny. And I can see still that there are lots of people doing Destiny 2, but also I have to admit, Destiny 2 viewership also significantly dropped. We've had probably between 20 and 50,000 people playing Destiny 2 about 3 or 4 months ago, and at the moment they've gone down to about 2,000. So not sure what the reason is, in addition to what I said already with Apex and the Division 2, but maybe people just completed certain sections and are waiting for new content, i.e. the new seasons to arrive, and indeed are doing some other games at the same time. So, the idea of providing a bit of variety here on the channel is indeed connected to that. We want people who are also very valued community members linked to other games to come here, to join us, talk to us, and indeed if they do not want to be watching some of the broadcasts, because let's say I'm streaming something which is not of interest, like Uncharted or For Honor or God of War or any other adventure game, so they can just go to our blog and then have a look there and talk to other community members, squad up with others, trigger off various discussions which are obviously video gaming or specific games related, and then establish new teams that are competing or indeed battling out the enemies in the virtual world out there. So lots of different opportunities and lots of different things to come for everyone, and I indeed look forward to all of those future encounters on all of those platforms. I posted some images of Metal Gear Solid to my Instagram, and there will be many more concept art images and very many other ones to come, which are related to several games that we currently played here. The Division 2 is one of them, and then we'll have also Anthem, as well as Metal Gear Solid 5, and perhaps the focus will be also on some other Metal Gear Solid games, its evolution over the last 25 years, its history, and the enjoyment they brought to many console gamers worldwide from 1987, when the original Metal Gear Solid was released on Nintendo. So, a lot to look forward to, a lot to enjoy, and a lot for us to be embracing over the days and months to come. I'm very grateful to all my community members for their consistent support. I'm grateful for all of your comments, views, tips, help, and everything else provided, and most importantly, to all of those new connections and bonds which were established here. I was so glad and overjoyed to see that we had lots of community members finding new friends and finding new squad mates, them together playing different games outside of this channel and making friendships and connections that are there to last. That is absolutely awesome. That is truly wonderful, and this is what this channel is all about. If you're a competitive gamer, you will find that perhaps not of interest, because you will be looking at scores and training tactics and doing certain things in order to compete at tournaments. We are not providing that here. We are literally focusing on our communication and bonds, and obviously you'll find other channels gearing up for that sort of activity. The reason I specify this is that the type of gamer who likes competitive gaming is quite different. Like a sportsman who does, competitive sports, i.e. football, vacation, quarantine, you name it, is all different, and it's focused on that final task, which is getting scores, succeeding and winning. That is, bringing the video gaming activity to a different level, and we here are all about communication, about connectivity, and about making new friendships and bonds. Whether we win, whether we lose, whether we are very good or whether we are terribly bad is completely irrelevant. And also please note, if you are throwing in comments, that on the chat rules any form of judgment is here strictly prohibited. We've had some of that coming in because I've done a bit of Crucible last week, as obviously this was a part of my Dark Drinker quest, and I was very unhappy with what I've seen, both coming from certain members and also with the type of activity witnessed there. It was highly toxic, very unfriendly, non-community based, and indeed I would call it a plague. So really best to avoid, and we want to prevent people of that sort coming to our channel altogether. Not to say that people who are entering Crucible are all like that, but unfortunately I had some trolls and people who were very, very negative and very offensive coming here and leaving some comments. Therefore, my moderators had to take action, and we simply are not going to do that sort of activity here live on the broadcast. I've heard of such activity from other community members, and they are frequently linked to highly competitive games such as Counter-Strike and Call of Duty, PUBG, but I personally have not encountered any of this, either personally or on my channel, and it was a very, very negative, very bad experience both for myself and people who were viewing the current activity, and therefore we'll make sure that this is not happening in the future and will prevent that sort of access altogether. So we are coming to the beginning of our gaming session, and we are going to be carrying on with our Warlock, and let's see what lies ahead. Once again, I'd like to invite everyone to join us for our PlayStation Now Presents services. They are going to be happening every day for about 2 hours. It is a new season here on the channel, so hopefully you guys are going to be enjoying it. You can also be throwing messages indicating what games you want to see. The best way of doing it is just simply accessing the roster of PS Now, which you can obviously access on the internet, and have a look at the games and just tell us what games you really want to see here, what games you really love playing, and it will make it obviously instantly accessible. PS Now is a subscription service. Once you subscribe and you pay for your monthly subscription, you can simply be accessing any of those 700 games with ease. You just click on stream and you can stream them directly, or indeed you can download them and then indeed play them and stream them on Twitch. So that it's really, there isn't a better service around, well, obviously together with Game Pass or Microsoft's, which is going to be giving you access to that many games for you to enjoy, to try, to find out what these games are about, and indeed to play them for many years and months to come. So remember, it's all about the support, it's all about sending us those messages, so do have a look and tell us what games you want to see here. I have a selection already, and it's very large selection, but it would be also equally good to hear from everyone on their own personal preferences and choices. So remember, send us some messages telling us, I want to see Metal Gear Solid, I want to see Fallout, I want to see God of War, I want to see Uncharted, I want to see whatever, Beyond Two Souls, Heavy Rain, Siren, Primal, Grim Fandango, all of those, golden oldies, the old ones, the good ones, the new ones, the blockbusters, whichever you really want to see, just let us know, and obviously I will adjust. Okay, so we have some upgrades on our character, and we are now entering our Destiny universe. So let's see, we have some engrams I think as well. Not so many, they're just a few. So right at the beginning, in order to do admin, we'll go to the tower. There we are.
Your name. Whenever you need me again, Guardian, look like some. We have some engrams you might find appealing. You always choose the strangest
Tax
thing.
liners. Temporis flow.
Stay safe.
Motor flight. We use quite a lot of motor flights, obviously I will need some extras. So let me see, we got 390 defense. This was 390 as well. Getting lots of these blue ones, and they're really not useful. So none of these are really going to do anything for us.
I hope we helped you, Guardian.
Indeed, sir. I'll be back after another hard battle. Fear God, honor the king. As you can see, we do not have anyone here to talk to,
Bad package.
because we completed the vast majority of the tasks. So what we'll do is we'll just have a look at our inventory. We'll have a look at our progress as well. Have a look at the inventory. Lots of different ornaments which can be used in several weapons. Okay. We got some Spirit Bloom, some exotic shards. In fact, we've got 4 exotic shards, and we could probably infuse that. This game is constantly causing us some technical issues here. Some bounties have been completed as well. So we'll look at that character, and that's 390, 391. Fusion rifle, but we do have the 395 Plan C as well. But what I'll do is I'll just try to infuse. Well, yeah, okay. $393, $395, $390, $391, $390, $390. So I think we'll go for automatic rifle, extremophile here. Actually, we'll go with does not bow, and that's the one we will infuse now, right? So just think for a moment. Yep, so a Hawk Moon has everything. We just need to be enabling those perks, and we are going to do this immediately. Going back and then going to inventory, and then we'll use 15 motor flight. Okay, so that's that. So we can have accurate ballistics, field choke, aggressive ballistics. Field choke is probably quite good here. We have extra damage to that random bullet. Hammer forged. Okay, these ones need to be still activated, so what we'll do is we'll go back and do extra 15 as well. Might of light. Just to explain to everyone who's perhaps a bit new to Destiny, Might of Light is used as you know, an additional consumable, i.e. material, in order to enhance experience in a weapon. When you're enhancing experience in a weapon, you are getting those perks unlocked, and therefore you can enable them bit by bit depending on what materials you hold. So at the moment I've just infused my Hawk Moon with another weapon. I've raised it to 395 level, which makes it extremely powerful. Hawk Moon is a very good hand cannon, very useful in you know, battle, in close quarter kind of combat, and I really look forward to be getting extra exotic shards and then indeed getting that weapon to the high level. So I'll be using it quite a lot, as you will see on my Warlock and my Hunter. I've been using my other very good hand cannon, Imago Loop. So this is the way through which I'm increasing the experience on Hawk Moon, because I don't want just 395 or 400 light level on it, but I also want all the perks to be unlocked, i.e. for the weapon to be made as deadly as possible. So let's see, we are getting some extras in here, and yeah, we got everything. So we have Hammer Forged, we have Quick Draw, and we have Speed Reload. Let me see, Quick Draw, and I think we'll do Speed Reload, and then we'll do Holding Aces. 2 more random bullets on your magazine deal considerable bonus damage. And then we'll have a look at Adorn Your Weapon with elaborate new designs. Moon Glow and Carrion I do not have, so I can't do anything of this. That's more of kind of cosmetics which can be applied to the gun, but all the other perks have been fully enabled, and therefore the weapon is now very powerful. As you can see, magazine is already 13, so it's the best one out of 3 or 4 which I have here in stock. Fusion Rifle also is getting enabled in here. Unfortunately I don't have Spirit Bloom, so Spirit Bloom has to be acquired on Venus, so that is going to be one of our next tasks. We'll do that more or less immediately. So 395, 390. I think I have another more powerful weapon in there. Yeah, it's Plan C, but it's also exotic. Swarm 391, 391. Okay, so that's fine. Okay, so we're alright. So it's 395, 390. In fact, in here we could have had another 391, but maybe I do have 391. Yeah, 391, 390, 390. Oh no, 393 even. Sniper rifle, bitter edge. So we'll put that bitter edge on, and we'll have 392 there. 391, we said that already, and all of those are in order. So that's all good. Okay. So we need to collect some Spirit Bloom, I think is what we discovered, and that was for what weapon now? Yeah. So these are all in order. Got all of this enabled, which is good. Yeah, this machine gun really does need also those filaments. Okay, that's fully enabled. Fully enabled. Fully enabled. Worm spore. Worm spore we can get on Dreadnought. So we do need to get some worm spore and spirit bloom as well. Worm spore. Okay, that's all sorted. This is all sorted. Okay. Now this is all in order. Helium filaments. Well, in fact, could be either helium or spirit bloom. Doesn't really matter, whichever, you know. In here, we'll need. Oh, we have spin metal in there, right? Okay. Helium. Okay. So that will be our next task. We'll go up there and be collecting all the materials. We'll need all of those materials for various weapons. So it will be basically helium filaments, and as you can see them in here, there will be some spirit bloom, there will be some helium flakes, and there will be some worm spore. All of these we need to be collecting, okay, and probably as many as possible. So before we do that, we want to have a look at our ghost, because our ghost can indeed have perks, and that is helium filament, helium extractor. Okay, so that's one ghost, right? And then this other ghost will have spin metal sensor. So let me just enable this one by using a few motes of light. Okay. I think I'm still asleep. It should have been done with the ghost obviously enabled. It's not up. Still not there. Okay. Still not there. There we are. Spin metal sensor. See, we got it there. And then what's the last one? We said 394. Okay, we know that one, ghost. And then this one will have helium filament. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll just go to inventory and then do the same. Go back to the character. I really am asleep. I really am. I mean, honestly. Still not there. Therefore we need to use more. Okay, still not there. Need some relic iron. So I need to go on Mars. Okay, we'll go to Mars first, I think, in order to get some relic iron. Okay, so that is going to be the first task, because we want to be able to collect all these materials. So relic iron on Mars is the first task. I've seen that already, I think. Yeah, slightly delayed. And okay, so before we proceed with our adventures and crack on with action, I'll take a short break, and once we come back we'll be going to all the different planets and we'll be collecting materials which are necessary for various weapons. As you've seen, we are going to be able to enable all of those perks, unlock them and make them fully ready for those weapons, so the weapons could be as powerful as possible. So just bear with us. I'll be back in about 5 minutes and then we'll carry on with our adventures. So until then, have a cup of tea, have a biscuit, stretch around a bit, and indeed then we'll enjoy everything else that is to follow. Lots of firefights, lots of activity, and indeed plenty of our Destiny 1 adventures are